I used to think that sleep paralysis was a glitch in the brain, something scientific, something that could be explained with neurotransmitters and REM cycles. That's what I told myself the first time it happened. That's what I kept telling myself. But no amount of science could ever explain what I saw, or what saw me. It started 3 months ago. I had just moved into a small one-bedroom apartment downtown. It was old, with those creaky wooden floors and walls thin enough that I could hear my neighbor cough through the plaster. But it was cheap, and I was on my own for the first time, so I didn't complain. The first night felt off. Not scary, not yet, just off. It was unusually quiet, even for the city. No cars, no sirens, not even the hum of a refrigerator. When I lay in bed, it was like I was floating in a sensory void. Still, I was exhausted, and sleep came quickly. That night, I woke up. At least, I think I woke up. I couldn't move. My eyes were open. I was sure of it. I could see the ceiling, the familiar outline of the light fixture, my dresser by the corner of the room, but I couldn't move my arms, my legs. I couldn't even scream. And then I saw it, where the moonlight didn't reach. Something stood, a tall silhouette, thin, too thin. It had to be over 7 feet tall, and it didn't move. It didn't breathe. Just stood there, watching me. At first I thought it was a coat rack, or maybe a trick of the shadows, but the longer I stared, the clearer it became. It wasn't furniture. It wasn't nothing. It was something real. It had eyes, two glowing, pale slits that shimmered like oil on water, and it smiled, not with a mouth, but with its whole body, a twisted, unnatural shift of its figure. Like it was thrilled I could see it. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. I was trapped, frozen. Then, without a sound, it moved. Closer, in a blink. It was by my bed, leaning over me. I felt cold air sweep across my skin, like it had brought the night with it. Its face, or what should have been a face, was a swirling void, and from that void, I heard whispers, thousands of them. They didn't speak any language I knew, but I understood. They said one thing over and over: don't sleep again. The next morning, I woke up with tears on my face and my sheets soaked in sweat. I wrote it off as a nightmare. I had to. I went to work. I told no one. But every night since, it returned. Sometimes it waited in a different part of the room. Sometimes it hovered above me. Once it crawled out from under the bed, but it was always there. Always watching. Always whispering. Sleep became a game of Russian roulette. I'd go days without it, terrified of what I'd see if I closed my eyes. When I finally collapsed from exhaustion, the paralysis came immediately, like it was waiting. One night I saw more of them, not just the tall one. There were smaller shapes now, crawling along the ceiling like insects, limbs bending the wrong way. One of them scurried across my chest. I could feel its claws digging into my skin. I couldn't move. I couldn't cry, just wait for it to end. But it didn't end, because soon they started touching things, not just me. My lamp would be in a different place when I woke up. My window cracked open when I never touched it. My mirror smeared with something dark and oily. I set up a camera. It was a stupid idea, I know, but I had to prove to myself I wasn't going crazy. The footage was blank. 5 hours of nothing. Then static. Then, a single frame. A frame that showed me lying in bed, eyes wide open, and a shape, that tall, impossible figure, standing over me, not in the shadows this time, clear as day, grinning. I tried everything, sleep clinics, doctors, even spiritual cleansing. One woman burned sage around the apartment and told me my sleep was being harvested. Whatever that meant, it didn't help. One night I decided not to sleep at all. I turned on the lights, made coffee, blasted music. I thought I made it through. I must have blinked, because suddenly I was in bed, dark, still. I couldn't move, but this time it was different. They weren't just watching, they were waiting. The tall one leaned close, face inches from mine. Its void opened like a mouth, and this time the whispers turned into a voice. Low, ragged, wrong, it said. "You're not dreaming anymore." That's when I saw my own face standing at the foot of the bed. My face, but with sunken eyes and a neck bent at an unnatural angle. She smiled. I was screaming inside, my mind clawing at the walls of my skull to get out, to wake up. But I wasn't asleep. Then I heard the front door open, footsteps, a voice. "Hey babe, you forgot your phone again," said my boyfriend. He came into the room and froze. "Linda?" I tried to blink. I tried to move. I was right there, watching him, trying to scream his name, but he didn't look at me. He looked at her, the thing that wore my face. She turned to him and whispered something I couldn't hear. Then the lights went out. When I woke up, it was morning. The room was empty, but the phone he brought back was still on the floor. I haven't heard from him since. His family says he disappeared. I never told them he was standing in my room the night he vanished. I tried to leave the apartment, but every time I get near the door, something pulls me back, like invisible arms or a scream too loud to hear. I haven't slept in days, but I can feel them. They're not in the shadows anymore. They're in the mirror. They're under the floor. They're behind you, and soon you'll see them too. When you can't move, when you can't scream, when they decide to show you their real face, and then you'll hear it, just like I did. "You're not dreaming anymore."